Hello and welcome to Behind the Bearcat. This is the podcast where the Northwest Missouri State University Career Services Office chats with Northwest faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends to hear about their career journeys, how they got to where they are, and how they became Bearcats. I'm Northwest Internship Coordinator Travis Klein.
And I'm Hannah Christian, the Assistant Director of Career Services here at Northwest. And today's guest on our podcast is a senior ag business major from Stanton, Iowa, and she is our very own event coordinator intern. Please welcome Sadie Graham. Welcome Sadie.
Hi, guys. I'm happy to join you.
Oh, it's so good to have you on our podcast. Oh, we like to talk about careers, Sadie.
Perfect.
So let's rewind all the way back. You're senior in college right now, but let's go all the way back to what was your very first paid job, Sadie?
Gosh, well, I would say my very first paid job would be babysitting, but if you would consider an actual job where I had to be hired and everything, I was a waitress at the Villisca Country Club.
A waitress. Awesome.
Yes.
So how did you get that job, Sadie?
They told me they needed help, so I sent in an application and they told me to show up.
And how long did you work at the Villisca Country Club?
For 5 years. Yes,
wow.
This past summer would probably be my last one because I have an internship this coming summer.
So have you worked there every summer?
Yes. Since my sophomore year of high school.
So you're another pro at this point. You can train new people, right?
I was, yes.
So what did you do as a waitress at the country club?
So the main thing was I would help in the kitchen help the cook, prepare meals, and then I would wait tables, bus tables once they were done, sanitize them. I would serve drinks, and then I would also serve as the bartender the past couple of years at tournaments as well as the nights that we would serve food.
Ah, interesting. So you're an ag science major. I may have got
Correct.
That wrong in the intro. I don't remember. So tell us, did you grow up on a farm? Have you always been interested in agriculture?
Yes, so I grew up on a cow-calf operation. We have just around 20 head of cattle, but I was raised showing livestock, cattle and hogs, so I've always had a passion for the ag industry.
I was a chicken shower. Fun fact.
That's okay.
Fun fact. Actually, we traveled all over the country. I won a national junior championship with a chicken.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. So I feel you on the livestock showing thing. So what breed of cattle?
So mainly we just showed crossbred for the steers, but then I showed Angus heifers.
Red? Black?
Nope, just black Angus.
Just black Angus.
Regular Angus,
just like the Burger King beef patties, right?
That's right.
So what was your favorite part about showing? And talk to me a little bit more about, were you an FFA?
I was.
Talk to me about how that has influenced maybe your major and maybe your career choices.
So my favorite thing about showing was always going to the shows and hanging out with the other families that had the same passion for the livestock industry as we did. We always had great memories, and it was always a great time. And then I was in FFA all 4 years of high school, and that has really helped shape me into the person I am today. I had a wonderful FFA advisor, an ag teacher. So I participated in speaking contests every year, and we always made it to state. One year we made it to nationals for parliamentary procedure. So he really just pushed me to be my best, and that's why I love public speaking today.
Yeah, those skills pay off in your job for sure. I grew up, I was a rural kid. I grew up in a small town of 300 people, but I was the non-farmer. So the whole concept of showing livestock is very interesting to me. Like for people that don't know, maybe, we have some city kids listening or folks that didn't grow up with that. What do you do when you show livestock? Like, what does that actually mean?
So you would start the morning, like on show day, you would start by usually walking them, getting them a little exercise, loosening them up. And then usually would feed them. or we'd give them a bath first, soap, conditioner, all the above, and then we'd blow them out, a calf blow dryer per se, and then you would groom them. It's like using hairspray pretty much on a calf, and then you would be ready for the show. But you need to work the hair every day leading up to those shows, work on showmanship skills, getting that calf ready to walk in the ring.
So it's basically like a beauty pageant, but for livestock.
Pretty much, yes.
At the super base level. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So those animals, do you raise them specifically to be shown, or do you just pick your best one and take it to the market? Or, how do you, I know that you mentioned like starting show day, but I'm sure that process starts way before you're going to the show. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of preparation and work that you have to do to make sure everything's good to go to get to that point too, right?
Yeah. So it pretty much just starts out with the genetics. Okay. You breed the club calf side of it, and then you also breed the market side of it. So I mean, you have your feedlot cattle, but you're not going to usually take those to the shows. So it starts by the genetics, the history of the animal. So you're usually just going to pick them out a couple months after they're born. Once they're weaned, then you start working with them.
Okay.
Yeah, each breed, so this is funny, it's also the same for chickens. Each breed has a standard. And so they have like, based on this standard, what an ideal of this breed should look like. So an ideal Angus is going to look different than obviously an ideal Holstein, I guess. Obviously they're two different breeds, and then they judge your individual specimen against this breed standard. We also wash chickens, by the way. So, it's hairspray for chickens, right?
I have watched that. Do you like dump them in a bucket with soap?
5-gallon bucket. Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. The advantage with chickens is Travis may have never gone and seen, you halter up the calf, right? You halter up the calf and you walk it around the ring. Chickens were so much easier because you just you put them in a cage, and then you left them there. That was, you wash them, you fluff them, you pretty them up, but then you don't have to walk them around the ring. So
I actually have a picture of Sadie with one of your show animals I can superimpose in the video.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Me for a shout out, just so people, again, like me, who have no concept of what this is, can see kind of what it is. So if you're an audio only listener, you might seek out the video on YouTube so you can see that. So
yes, that picture was actually taken in Denver at the National Western Stock Show.
That's amazing.
Yeah, excellent.
So tell us how you got to Northwest, Sadie.
So I decided that I wanted to tour Northwest after I came here for the FFA CDE contest my senior year. I was hanging out in the student union after my contest, and Joe Free, he actually came up and talked to me, and I decided, hey, maybe I should go on a tour here because I'd only toured Iowa State at that time. And I decided to go on a tour, and everybody here was so friendly, and they made me feel like I was already a student here. And just the atmosphere, the size of Northwest, that's what really just made me decide that I wanted to go to school here.
And was ag science your first major choice? Did you come in decided?
It was not. No, I started out as ag business, and then I moved to agricultural education, and now I'm agricultural science.
But you stayed within the field of agriculture.
Yes.
Can you tell us how those majors are different?
Yeah, so they all have a different area of interest. So business, you focus mainly on business, your farm management, your accounting, classes like that. And then education is, you take most of those classes as well, but you focus on the education side of that and teaching students. And I realized that that wasn't going to be for me. I wanted to work with adults and don't really have the patience to work with students. So that's when I decided to move to ag science. And my 3 emphasis areas are ag education, animal science, and ag business. So it allows me to have a little bit of education in all of those areas.
Interesting.
Yes.
So first of all, I have a little background information here that you were a career ambassador before you became the event coordinator intern. What other positions do you hold on campus? And can you tell us about your jobs, your clubs? Talk to us a little bit about your involvement.
So I was the career ambassador here in Career Services, and then now I'm the events intern. But I also am an agricultural ambassador for the School of Agricultural Sciences here at Northwest. And that is just a job where I give prospective students tours of the CI as well as the campus farm, just so I can try to gain their interest in Northwest. And then I'm involved in several organizations here on campus. I am involved in Northwest Block and Bridle, where I'm currently the president, and then Northwest Collegiate Farm Bureau, and I am currently the treasurer in that organization. And then I'm also a member in Collegiate Cattlemen's, and that wraps it up.
So what's Block and Bridle?
So that is an organization where we focus mainly on the show industry. For showing livestock, we host a spring cattle show and a hog show every year. And then currently we are in the works of planning a fitting clinic for this spring.
Oh, awesome. And Farm Bureau?
Yeah, so we work a lot with the Missouri Farm Bureau as well as the Nottoway County Farm Bureau. And so we work with policies. And right now it's kind of hard with all organizations because we can't do a lot due to COVID. But we're still trying to get out there, get other students active in these organizations. Right now in Farm Bureau, we're planning a food panel. So we're going to try to get all organizations on campus involved in this. And it's just going to be an educational panel for all members of the community, members of the university, the staff, faculty, students, and educate them on different areas of the food industry.
Oh, that's very cool. So, can you tell us a little bit about how did you decide to become a career ambassador, or apply? Why did you want to apply for it, or what made you interested in that position?
So I needed a job, to be honest, and it was on the human resources page. But I applied for the career ambassador one because it said it dealt with speaking with students as well as employers. And that's something that I've always liked to do. I like to talk. So I knew that that was going to be a job right up my alley. So I was excited to get that position.
And what did you do? Like
So
actual work?
Yeah, so as a career ambassador, I would help students with their resumes, cover letters, finding a job either on or off campus. That goes for internships, part-time jobs, or full-time jobs once they graduate. And then I would also help the events intern, planning out mock interview day, speed networking, career day, PBL Palooza, as well as all the other events we host here in Career Services. So we always had something going on here in the office that I could help with.
But last semester, you kind of had your own event. Talk to us about your own event that you had there.
Yes, so I also had some help from another coworker. Her name's Rebe, and we hosted a fall fashion show. So what we did with that is we took clothes from the career closet here on campus, which is located in North Complex, and we had a bunch of volunteers, a bunch of students around campus, and they came over to North Complex to the career closet, and they got to pick out a bunch of clothes, and they ended up modeling it one day at the tower.
The bell tower.
The bell tower, yes, I couldn't think of it. And we had music and a runway and an audience, so that was a lot of fun, just so we can showcase the clothes that were in the career closet to try to gain interest for other students to check it out.
It was like the most perfect night for an outdoor event. The weather was perfect. So,
yes,
and it was a whole bunch of fun.
Spring.
It was a whole bunch of fun. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that again. So talk to us about, I know you got an internship this summer. Can you talk to us about where you got the internship, how you got the internship, and maybe what that looks like in the future for you?
And you've had several, right? Not just, I mean, you've got one coming up, but you've done them in the past as well, right?
Yes, I also had one this past summer. So the one I have coming up is with Transova Genetics in Sioux Center, Iowa. I will be the client services representative intern. And so what that will entail will be contacting current or future clients, trying to encourage them to set up appointments for IVF appointments, embryo transplants, stuff like that within their livestock herd. And I gained that internship through Career Day, actually. I spoke with Alex, he's their human resources specialist, and he told me that that position would be a great opportunity for me and encouraged me to apply for it. So I did, and I used him as a reference in my cover letter, and I got an interview with 2 different locations within Transova. So it definitely paid off speaking with them at Career Day.
So you talked to him face to face. Were they there at a table, I imagine, or?
They were actually attending virtually.
So they were online. So you chatted with them
Yes.
on the Zoom call.
Yeah, over Zoom. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Can you talk to us about some of the past internships?
So this past summer, I was a sales associate intern with Farm Bureau Financial Services with the Nick Wetzel Agency in Adams County. So what that was is I actually gained my insurance license in property and casualty insurance, which was not easy, but I did it. And I got to do a lot of cold calls in person as well as over the phone and helping people make a quote, adjusting their insurance policies. And I actually ended up making 2 different sales. So that was something that was pretty cool. It was a goal I set for myself to make at least 1 sale by the end of the summer. So it was definitely a wonderful experience. And I realized that insurance could possibly be something that I want to do down the road.
Oh, awesome.
And that internship just kind of fell into my lap, to be honest, because this past summer, I originally had an internship lined up with Northwestern Mutual Hail Insurance. And due to COVID, that ended up getting canceled. And I went and talked to Nick Wetzel at Farm Bureau one day to see if he wanted to be a sponsor for the Northwest Block and Bridle organization for our cattle show. And he's a Northwest alumni, and he told me I should come check him out sometime, see if I want to be an intern for him. And I said, yeah, sure. So it was a great opportunity.
So you mentioned maybe future plans. So what's, you're getting ready to graduate here before long. So what is the hope or the plan for when you're out of Northwest?
Yes. So I have applied for a few different full-time jobs once my internship is done this summer, but I've also applied for grad school here at Northwest for the MBA program. So right now I'm a little up in the air. I'm leaning a little bit more towards grad school at the moment, but I'm keeping my options open.
So what do you do? Your current position is event coordinator intern for our office. So how is that different from a career ambassador?
So it's different because I don't do a lot of interactions with the students anymore. When they come in to have resume or cover letter help, I don't help them as much as I used to unless nobody else is in the office. I'm mainly working on the computer, doing a lot of cold calls at the moment, a lot of just computer work. And right now it's the middle of mock interview day sign up. So students will come in, and the only time I really get to talk to them is if they're wanting to sign up for mock interview day. So it's a lot of planning, a lot of organization. So I have to stay pretty organized, and I'm an organized person, I'd say. So I'm really enjoying it so far.
Great.
Sounds like that lines up well with those cold calls you had to do with your summer internship at the insurance agency. So all that stuff's kind of lining up, it sounds like.
Yes, I'm getting a lot of answering machines, but not very many no's yet. So that's a plus.
That's good.
Can you tell us something that you've maybe this is just for my own fun, but can you tell us something that maybe a perception that you had as a student about career services that maybe now as a student that you work at Career Services, you would say, oh, I totally misunderstood that. Maybe a misunderstood perception or something along those lines.
Yes, so my freshman year in Ag Seminar, Travis actually came and spoke with our Ag Seminar class. So I knew about Career Services. I knew that you could come in, get resume help, do an interview to practice. And one thing that I thought was you could only come in here and get help with your resume if you were applying for a job. So I was honestly about to come in here and get some resume help when I applied for this job, but I was like, well, I better not do that. But I thought that you could only get help if you're applying for a certain job, but that is definitely not the case. We can help you anytime if you don't even have a resume, we'll help you. So that is definitely something I misunderstood.
That's a really good point.
It is.
Actually. You could come in every day and we would help you. Not
We
that we're
would,
sanctioning that, but we would definitely help you if you came in every day.
I always think it's interesting as somebody who's getting ready to graduate, like if you could give advice to little freshman Sadie all those years ago, like what would you say that you've learned over your time here at Northwest? I'm sure you're a different person now than you were then. So
I would probably tell her to branch out a little bit, because although I'm highly involved on campus, I'm only involved mainly in the ag industry, like the ag side of campus. I was in student senate for a year, but I would have encouraged myself to maybe join a few organizations that aren't in the ag department, because I really did not branch out very much from that side of things.
That's interesting advice. Yeah,
I
that's
think
good
solid
advice. Yeah.
And you're lucky you're in a department that has a lot of stuff to get involved with. I think we have some students here that they don't have as much to choose from in their major, so they just don't get involved at all. So that's good advice for all students.
It's good to have a good network of people, not just in your discipline, but also across the field. And I actually think working in career services, not all of us are. Well, I showed chickens. My interests and areas are not in ag. So, and lots of your coworkers are not ag majors. So that's also, you still have some really good connections with people in different majors there.
Yes, that is so true. Plus, my freshman year, I lived in the ag learning communities. So I really haven't made too many friends outside of the ag department. So that is definitely something I would have changed my freshman year. Good
thoughts. What does it mean to you to be a Bearcat, Sadie?
So for me to be a Bearcat, it means that you're going to be honest, respectful, and kind to others. I think that you need to have a good integrity. I think that's one thing that all Bearcats should have, and that's something that the School of Northwest really pushes on all students, that you need to be respectful to all, no matter what. And that's definitely something I think that all students here at Northwest reflect.
Thank you. So you mentioned going to grad school. Talk to us about your decision to do that.
So it's always been something that I wanted to do, was go to grad school. And I want to go into the business side of things, but I don't have a business degree per se. I have an ag science degree, which is good because I'll have that ag background. But I want to get more into the business side of things. So I applied for the MBA program here at Northwest, and I think that this will just be something that will be beneficial for me down the road in my career. So that's something I decided to pursue.
Awesome. Anything else, Travis? Do you have any burning questions? I loved the one about showing livestock, that was a great question, Travis. I just want to give you the question trophy for the day.
Yeah, honestly, everything I know about that is from Dr. Pohl, which my wife watches all the time. But otherwise, I know nothing about it. Yeah.
We watch every episode at my house.
We do at my house too. So, yeah, no. Otherwise, I think your internship experience. I honestly thought you'd had like 5 or 6 internships at this point, because it seemed like, I think you had the one that fell through was what was throwing me off. But I know we do our shout outs, and it seems like I've done a lot for you because you've got a lot of stuff. So you've definitely, I think, taken good advantage of the connections you've made through Career Services. And I think that's the best case scenario for us, is when students, really kind of take the role and then run with it and do more than the base, what we minimally ask you to do. And I think that's always been the case with you as a CA and as an intern both. So thank you. We appreciate all the work you do for us.
We do. So at the end, we're going to give you a wide open platform to talk about anything you want to talk about. So is there anything in particular you'd like to say to your large audience here?
I don't know. What do most people talk about?
I don't know. Whatever they're thinking about.
Whatever's on their mind. Yeah. We've had
heard
a lot of
things.
Stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't plan for extemporaneous speaking.
This will come out probably the second Friday in February. So we will still have a few events. So you could talk about that if you wanted to, not to steer you in a direction, but
second Friday, that's the 12th.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So
Yeah.
we'll still have mock interview day and career day and
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you should come to all of them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What's your favorite? I'll ask you a different question. How about that? What's your favorite career services event and why?
My favorite event would be mock interview day, because even though I love public speaking and I've had several interviews, I still hate interviewing. They give me the jitters, the butterflies, I mumble, all of the above. They just really get me all worked up. So the more practice I get, the better. And I know a lot of students don't have as much practice. And so mock interview day might be the first interview they ever have. So I think it's a great opportunity for students to get out there and practice and interview with a company or even somebody in the industry that they want to go into.
That's great advice. I mean, I would also say, that's not just for students. If you feel uncomfortable interviewing, we're always happy to practice with you. And B, we practice interviewing all the time. Travis is the mock interview master. So
I was going to say, I've interviewed you multiple times, Sadie, and I have never seen you stumble over words. I've never noticed you. I mean, other than normal, I've never seen you have nothing to worry about with interviews. So you're way stronger than you think. So
I get so nervous.
Yeah.
Are you nervous now?
No.
That's
but
good.
This isn't an interview.
Okay. I gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for being our guest on the podcast, Sadie. We wish you well.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
All right. Well, that will do it for another episode of Behind the Bearcat, and we'll talk to you next time. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to follow on your podcast platform of choice and on YouTube. Also, click the little notification bell on YouTube so you never miss an upload. And you can follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a LinkedIn page.